Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Lucky Underdogs podcast. It's your
Sir,
boy
yes, sir.
CJ.
And it's Corey Holmes, Corey in the cut, whatever you want to call me. We here, we back for another dope episode. Ain't that right, my boy?
You already know. And however you catching us, if it's Valley Sports, if it's, through the Believe Network, if it's Apple, Apple, however you catching your podcast, we appreciate you tuning in. We got another episode of Lucky Underdogs where we always highlighting the underdogs, the guys who don't get the media attention, that don't get all the coverage, don't get the playing time, but when they do get their chance, they make the most out of it. So,
Yes, sir.
so tonight we got a little bit of spring ball. We're gonna bring up a little bit of spring ball. Talk about kind of the young cats who getting their chance to shine.
And the real grind. Yo, people don't know. Spring ball is like camp. It's really like camp, but in the springtime. Yo, like bro, I know I got some memories of the spring. It's like, and this is the worst part about it too, right? I think everybody could relate to this. Is it this weekend? I think is daylight saving time.
Oh yeah, so you lose that.
Like spring forward.
Ooh, I forgot about
lose
that.
an hour of sleep, right? Like right at the beginning of spring ball, and you just like, damn, like right when I wish I could have as much sleep as possible, I'm losing an hour, and I gotta wake up in the morning and have a camp-like practice in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, you got any like spring ball memories? Some like a memory that really stood out to you?
I mean, I got a few ones, man. I think spring ball is like, I feel like you just remember so much of spring ball because it's like you just in there. You're there at 5 a.m. in the morning, and then after you're done with practice, you go to class, and then after class, you go right back to the facility. Right. So I think, man, my main memory was like that first Camp Kelly when we had that first Camp Kelly.
They don't know about Camp Kelly, yo.
Man,
they don't know about Camp Kelly.
They don't know about Camp Kelly's, man. Them things. So we basically Camp Kelly, for people who don't know, it was we out there. We got to be at the locker room 5 a.m. Yep. 5 a.m.
Sharp.
South Bend. You can't, if you there, like you got to be there 4:55 dressed. 4:55 dressed. If you come at 5,
what's the saying? If you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time.
Exactly.
Like that was the case. You better, especially Camp Kelly, you better not be late.
You better be early because we got assembly at 4:58, 5 o'clock. We on the field, and when I say, man, like I remember I came in like 2 minutes right before like it was like 4:58. I walked in I'm like shit, rushing in. And then rushing in, threw my clothes on, threw my pants on. We walk into the auditorium. Coach Kelly's like, wow, we gotta go work hard, do this. And and then like, are we going outside? I'm like, whoa, what? Outside?
Yo, and at this time of the year, man, we talking like Notre Dame. It's frigid.
And he not doing it like that.
Kelly. It was like what, like February? It probably would have already passed by now, right?
Usually he do it. It's random. He don't have no set time for it. He does it when it's cold out. He does it when it's freezing cold outside, snow,
the coldest
ice.
day possible.
You feel me? It's gonna be like negative degrees when he picks it, and you can be like, bruh, like you gonna be out there the whole time. You're not even thinking about like how much hard you working. You just thinking about it's so cold. I'm just trying to get out of here because it ain't like it's no sun or nothing. It's just darkness and cold. So you just straight, you got the straight coldness, right? It's not fun. That was the most vivid memory. That first Camp Kelly, like just walking outside and you just see your breath, just like
right.
You just hurt.
Sheesh. Yeah, no, man, you not lying. You kind of just brought me back because I almost forgot about the Camp Kellys, but it's like, how can you forget about that? Man. That was like that was a treacherous event right there. But nah, my favorite spring practice, like spring workout memory, if you would. Yeah, mine didn't much so come from practice. Actually, I had one catch, I'd say. I had a nice one-handed catch, CJ. This was the spring after you had left.
Wow,
this is maybe 2016.
Yeah.
Well, I had a nice one-handed catch. That picture's somewhere on the internet. But no, my favorite memory though had to have been CJ. I don't even know if you know this, man, but I was pretty fast at one point in time, CJ. I ran a 4.39 at workout, CJ.
I remember that, bro. I do remember that. Yes, CJ, I remember that.
This is documented too. You can search this up on Google. CJ, I ran a 4.39. You know how happy I was. I was like, man, you know what? I did that. Like I had worked for that. I knew I was fast. You know what I'm saying? Right. But like it was just like I was just waiting for the opportunity that the coaches had a watch out.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they put that watch out, I said, "Oh, I'm about to show them
Yeah,
now.
you got
I'm
my
about to show them
chance.
now." Ran that 4.39, and that was really like the start of like a good spring for me. Like I said, it kind of just led into like
Mm-hmm.
you know how you kind of just ride the momentum of things. Rode that momentum into the spring. Had a good spring, like I said. Had some nice one-handed catch. I can't even remember really the situation, but yeah, nah, man. Spring ball, you know, that's a time for guys to really prove themselves, right? Like
Yeah,
it was a
for
time
sure.
for us, like you know, guys like even like yourself, like because had you gone, when did you go through that position change? When was it? Was it in the spring? Or was it like in the fall?
You know, so I did. Yeah, all my position changes were in the spring. So my first one
Okay,
came.
that's what I thought.
So I guess the first time I changed was I went from safety to receiver, and that was the when you were coming in as a freshman.
Yeah,
And you like just like you said that springtime, man, like that's really when guys like get their chance to really get their chance to shine. You know, like coming up for this springtime, all the redshirt freshmen and the guys who didn't really play a lot last season, now it's their chance to kind of get in there and get their chance to play. And I think for a lot of guys, you get a lot of confidence. You see a lot of guys get their confidence in this time because they know it's their time. They like this is my shot, and so they see a lot of guys like really going for it and like. You see a lot of this is I love this part of football. Obviously for the athletes it sucks because you got to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning and stuff. But this is really where you get the best. You're going to get the most out of your athletic career, especially football, because every morning y'all wake up, y'all are competing to the end until y'all get off that field for an hour and a half you're on the field. It's all competition. Ain't nothing else.
All competition. It's that time for those underdogs to really compete and really prove themselves. Like, because on top of that, it's just it's so important for the team because on top of like those guys that might have had limited opportunities the year before, it's also a time for some of the veteran guys to kind of continue with that. Maybe if you're a team who's bringing back guys, kind of have that continuity and kind of just continue like that rapport with each other. Or for new guys, it's that time for you to kind of like gain that camaraderie, that rhythm, right? That relationship. And we got guys like, I mean, if we look at this year's Notre Dame team, we got guys like Riley Leonard coming in. We got a whole bunch of transfers coming in. But before I even get into all the transfers and everything, we got this dude, like I said, Riley coming in. And we've talked about this, I think, on the last episode. We got Coach Denbrock coming in. How you think that duo is going to be moving forward, Coach Denbrock and Riley Leonard?
I mean, for anytime you get like get a new combination of a coach and player, it's a little bit of kind of working through some kinks and working through some mistakes. But I think ultimately it's a great fit for especially for Denbrock's first year back, Riley Leonard, him coming in for just 1 year. I think Coach Denbrock's the perfect coach for that, that to be coming for that 1 year because he's kind of the guy we need right now. He's the guy who he's mobile and he's gonna he's a very smart player, and he's very mobile. And so that's kind of what we need right now. As far as how Hartman last year, he was like same thing. He was a very smart guy, didn't make a lot of mistakes, but he didn't have he didn't have the mobility as that Riley Leonard does. So I think that's gonna be great for our offense, especially losing Audrey Estime, especially losing him. So, I think, our running game is going to be huge. And I think, with Denbrock coming back, it's going to help those guys who don't, help the younger guys and those kind of transfers coming in, going to make the system simple for them so they can go out there and just make the best plays. I think that's the goal. That's what I'm looking forward to. That's hopefully that's the plan they're going to put in place, which I think this probably will be. Because, you never want to put too much on their plate, just make it easy for them and then let them go out there and play.
Yeah. Well, look, you pointed it out with Riley, right? Like he's a dual threat. He can move. He can move a little bit. And I loved Hartman. I was a big Hartman fan, but he didn't really have the legs. That wasn't a part of his game. And we've seen what Coach Denbrock can do with a mobile quarterback. He just produced a Heisman Trophy winner.
Exactly.
And even in his time when he was at Notre Dame, he kind of had some mobile quarterbacks. So I'm just super excited because if you've watched any Riley Leonard film or watched him at all on the field, that dude's a problem. That dude's a problem. But and what I also like about this situation is that he's just he's a veteran. He's been doing this for years already. And a coach, they're not going to want to tell you this, but they like to deal with the quarterback that has experience as opposed to one who's hasn't faced like the bright lights, who hasn't faced any of those clutch moments at the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? Coach Denbrock's getting a quarterback who's already done it. He's played in huge games. He's played Clemson, right? Like he's played Notre Dame on the road and at home and all that. So he's coming with experience, but like I mentioned, he's a dual threat, but he's also a guy that just like to compete. Like,
yeah, I like that.
When you got a quarterback that's just like a competitor, just a fierce competitor, that also adds another dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Riley Leonard's a dude that if nothing's there, I'm gonna run it, but not only am I gonna run it, I might run somebody over at the end.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
I think we're gonna see that from Riley Leonard next year, and people gonna be surprised. But he's really been doing this whole career. Unfortunately, he got hurt last year, ironically, against I think Notre Dame, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that when he got hurt?
Yeah, actually, watching that game, I think like you said, he's a competitor. Even in that game, he was hurt. Notre Dame had him locked down. I mean, we had his number. We knew exactly how to stop him. But even then, he was still fighting. He was still competing. He didn't stop fighting to the end of that game. And so that to me was enough enough for me to be like, all right, this guy deserves a shot. To be the Notre Dame quarterback. However long whatever happens, I hope the best for him. As far as the whole, I don't know. I'm not sure if he's a starter yet, but I'm sure he probably will be. But it's all the quarterbacks in that room. Good luck to them. Hopefully they give it all their best shot. But obviously Riley Leonard's a very talented guy, and we looking forward to his competitiveness under center, man. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Well, and look, and Notre Dame's doing something I feel like I haven't really seen them do before, and that is bringing in like veteran receivers via transfer, right? Like we're seeing them bring in 3 receivers this year. 2 of them who are going to actually be participants in the spring. That's Chris Mitchell, Jaden Harrison. Jaden Harrison out of Marshall, Chris Mitchell out of FIU. Both, I'll tell you what, Chris Mitchell do the deep threat. I watched my film on Chris Mitchell. Chris Mitchell, he'll take the top off the defense. That's what I like about Chris Mitchell.
Is this FIU guy?
Yeah, FIU guy. Fast, speedy guy.
I think he had like 100 catches or something last year, didn't he? Like,
1,000 yards.
Yeah,
I know for sure he had 1,000 yards. You said 100 catches?
I know he had. I don't know if 100. I know he had like 80 catches. I know he had a. He had a bunch. I know. I don't know if 100, but I know he had a bunch of catches.
He for sure went for 1,000, and that's impressive. I mean, if you do that at the college level, you're good, especially at the D1 level, right?
Yeah, sure.
So now he's going to be an option for Riley Leonard, and again, he's going to be a guy that's in there during the spring. So I'm excited about that. Chris, his name's Jaden Harrison from Marshall. Dude, I'm seeing dude take kicks back, right? Like I'm seeing dude catch, bubble screens, take him to the crib. So that's another option for Riley Leonard. And then we didn't even talk about Bo Collins.
Oh yeah.
If we being honest, I mean, all of them are good, but Bo Collins coming from Clemson, we've seen what he could do on the big stage. Like I've seen him score, in the clutch in overtime against Wake Forest, right? Over the shoulder go route, like. These are going to be guys that we're now bringing in to add to already the quality guys that we have, coming in from high school and who we have in the program. So, we got an opportunity to have a really explosive offense. I mean, and that's not to mention the running backs that we have. Like, dude,
we're already set at running back. Oh yeah, Our running backs are explosive. And they're all different. That's why I love them, because like
all of them are changes. They all like changes. Right?
You got Jeremiah Love, who just kind of got that Josh, almost like that Josh, like explosiveness.
Right.
And then
that's actually a good comparison. Yeah.
And then you got the Jadarian Price, who's just very versatile. He can do it all. Like the way he's built. He definitely remind me a lot of myself. I ain't gonna lie, Jadarian Price definitely remind me a lot of myself. And then is it number 4? I always forget number 4 name, but he's cold. He's shifty. He remind me of Kyron Williams. So it basically got like three of some of the best backs ever stepping up for the Notre Dame. Just kind of their archetypes in the running back room. So it's crazy to it's crazy to see all those guys. Just how versatile and how dynamic they were. They're just their first year. All of them were freshmen, sophomores playing their first year. So that's what I mean. I know we're talking about Riley Leonard and the receivers, but that running back room is going to be where we're definitely a run line in the O-line, running back in the O-line. That's where we're going to be kind of, in them trenches where we go and start off and relying on early on. And the receiver is going to be opening up for us once we kind of get things flowing.
Exactly. Coach Denbrock got a lot of tools in the tool shed this year.
Sir,
so he's going to have I'm excited to see what they can do, because there's going to be a lot of talent. but it's going to be a lot of veteran talent, which
Yeah,
I also like. And then, you combine that with the offensive mastermind and Coach Denbrock, it's going to be looking good. But I mean, we talked about all the positions except for the offensive lineman. And of course, that's the foundation, right? Like,
absolutely.
I know, we unfortunately losing guys like Joe Alt this year,
Mm.
right? Both of our tackles, really, the other tackle as
Blake
well.
Fisher, yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna go on to have a really good career. But I mean, we got some guys in the system,
Yeah.
right? Like you got like maybe like a recruit that's coming in that you got your eyes on, a guy that's already there.
Yeah.
'Cause they know how to find him.
Oh
I
yes,
tell you
I mean, like you said, our O line play, and I mean, it's how we develop our O linemen is like, bar none the best, one of the probably
Mhm.
the best place in the country as far as developing O linemen. And as far as the guys we looking for, we're gonna see whoever, I know Charles I think Jagusah, I think I'm saying it right. He's a guy who's gonna, he's highly recruited out of high school. He's gonna be a guy who's, fill that left tackle role, I'm guessing.
Mhm.
And then we got some other guys. I think we got a third year guy who was supposed to be filling in there too. So we got a couple of O linemen. I mean, that's one of the places that you just know we're always gonna be good at.
Mhm.
We don't
That's the
really
thing.
always, we just don't have to worry
Yeah,
about, like, it's like, all right,
I just trust these coaches. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like whether it's the guys there, whether it's the guys that are coming in, you
Mm-hmm.
can't come to Notre Dame with unless you have that mindset of, all right, I'm coming in. Day one they're gonna make it clear, like, look, listen, we are one unit, right? Like them offensive linemen,
They
they go everywhere together,
Yeah.
right? So you're gonna be conditioned from day one, like, all right, well, yeah, this is one unit. All right, yeah, I'm at Notre Dame for real. I'm a Notre Dame offensive lineman. So they're gonna condition them already. But like I said, they know before they even get there what type of player they're gonna get. Like that again. So I trust the coaches and the players that they're able to pick out. And then you got, there's going to be some veteran guys that are already a part of the offensive line that are going to bring those young guys together, and it's going to be one cohesive unit, there. And again, I think the running backs, like the unit itself is going to hold each other accountable.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing, that was there when we were there, and I'm sure it's going to be there, with these coaches as well. But yeah, man,
Absolutely.
Notre Dame. I mean, we always going to have a run game.
Oh yeah,
We always
that's the part. I mean, O line play. That's kind of our identity. That's our our formula. Our formula to winning is always in them trenches. And to talk about talking about them trenches, we gotta go back to go to the defensive side now.
Yeah,
talking about some of the guys we're losing, especially especially the linebacker position.
Yeah.
We're losing losing JD Bertrand, and then we
JD
losing
Bertrand.
and
We used
Morris
Leofow. That was my guy too.
Yeah, man. Those some hard nosed Notre Dame guys.
You know what I'm saying?
Hitting, like they what you're getting when you go to every game with those guys. They're gonna play hard and they're gonna hit you hard. And that's So
I mean, so to your point, those are going to be some hard guys to replace. But I mean, same as the offensive linemen, they're going to play hard. That's one thing about our linebackers and our defense in general. But that was a unit that was impressive last year. I must say. And let's look at some guys like, this is one thing that I saw too when before the show when we came on, we got some dudes, like I talked about the experience on on the offensive side. We're gonna have some dudes coming in this year, are coming back next year with a lot of experience. 6-year linebacker Jack Kaiser, right? Like if you're a guy that's been around the game that long, it's like you've seen every situation, you've seen everything, that a linebacker can see in front of him. Always having a guy like that. It bleeds into the other guys too, right? Like when you can have those conversations with guys with that much experience, it's only going to raise your ability as a player and raise your kind of just overall awareness on the field. So, you always need a guy like that in the system. So I thought that was cool.
And I definitely think, guy, just having a guy like Kaiser back, it's going to help a guy like Jalen Sneed a lot. A guy who's really, he has the ability. You can see it on the field. Every time he's on the field, you can see he has that ability. Just hasn't put it all together yet. And so I think this is, I know he has I know he had transfer talks and whatever. So, hopefully if he's back and everything, I think he's a guy who's going to be a weapon for us on the defensive side. I mean, once he can figure out the game, slow it down in front of him, and then he can play fast the way he as fast as he is, I think he'll have I think he'll have a hell of a rest of his career at Notre Dame. He can really figure it out and get it going because he has that explosive that little twitch, explosive twitch that you don't see a lot from a lot of players, and so he has kind of that smooth explosive twitch that you'd like to see. So definitely want to get him out there and get him going a little bit more so we can see his full potential.
Yeah, and he's going to be in the Al Golden system. I mean,
for sure.
It's kind of just like, like the other side of the ball with Coach Denbrock. It's like, I remember Al Golden when he was at Miami. Miami always had good defenses, right? Like that was one thing to expect out of that team, and that's just the identity, that he's kind of instilled at Notre Dame. Like you're going to get a hard fought game from us, at least on the defensive side of the ball. So, man, no, I'm looking forward to seeing what the defense can produce. But it's all about the spring. It's all about the spring, right? Who's going to get playing time in the fall will prove themselves in the spring. Like that's one thing that's for certain. So these guys, they got a good opportunity. I'm really looking forward to see what names come out from the spring, who's standing out. Because right now it's we can all only go off of what's happened in the past, but it's always a good opportunity in the spring, like we had said it, really at the top of the show.
No, for sure. Just like you said, I mean, the springtime is guys get their chance to really prove themselves, really prove, if this is the place for them. If you really want to get your shot to play for next season, spring is the time to do it. A lot of people can become starters just from the spring ball. I know all of my playing time came straight from spring ball. That's it. I worked my ass off in the spring, and every time fall came, it always paid off because it's not even just that you put confidence in the coaches and everybody around you, but you put so much confidence in yourself when you like, man, I can do this. Like I can compete against the best players in the country, and because Notre Dame has a lot of the best players in the country, so I can compete against them. So once you put yourself in that position, you say I can do this, and then that's when you really get that confidence in yourself. Like, man, once the season hit, I ain't gonna let it fall off from here.
Yeah. Because because these are just really valuable reps, right? Because if you're a guy who's wanting to kind of just fine tune himself or learn the system a little bit better, right? These are an opportunity to, again, get those reps, learn the playbook and the system in the spring, so that even by the end of the spring, by that spring game, by the summertime, now you're just taking the thinking out. You're just playing now. Now it's just about making plays and really just showing up on film in the best way possible. Now you're not thinking about, all right, what's my assignment? What's my alignment? Like, nah, you just go out there, you just play. So spring's super important, whether it's your first, your second, your third, for some guys now, fourth spring, whether it's your fourth spring or not, it's a time to get better. And I know each spring that I was there, it was something that I obviously took very seriously. I can imagine yourself, you took it very seriously. So, it's only another great opportunity for these guys.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I'm looking forward to that spring game too.
I guess, was it Kaiser? His is 6 years, so I guess this is his fifth spring.
Probably his fifth spring.
God.
You know what I'm saying? I remember, I was like, I don't know how many more spring balls I got.
Hey, listen, after that third one, you like, all right, man, enough is enough. Like, I put in the grind. Like, it's 5 a.m. It's getting crazy. But
because you get through camp, and then it's just like, all right, let's get through the season. You get through the season, it's just like, all right, well, spring ball right around.
Just spring ball, and it's like, man.
Ball. The ball part is fun. Practice is fun, of course.
It's the class.
But it's just, it's just the grind.
Yeah, once you got to go to class afterwards, you like, man, this is hard. This is tough. That's when you realize, man, I'm really a student athlete now. Like, I seen Saban was talking today. He had some comments saying, after the Rose Bowl they lost, he was like, he talked to like 70-80% of the players, and they were just like, instead of wondering like how the team was gonna be next year, they were all worrying about like their assurances, if they're gonna get paid, how much money they getting paid and stuff. And he said that was the reason he kind of like retired.
Over the edge.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like, man, that's hard to hear because every Alabama player I always talk to, they built the culture on competition. Like it was, you knew like you had to work for your spot, and if you got your spot, you're gonna probably get to the league. Yeah, and it's like it's hard to hear him say that when it's like, man, like, dang, have we fallen off that far? Like,
he's probably like, where are your priorities? Like,
where are your priorities?
He was on like his exit interviews with the players or something, or
I guess he was doing. Yeah, I guess he did like exit interviews with players,
Yeah.
and they were asking like if I'm gonna be playing next year and how much money I'm gonna be getting next year. If
What?
to come back or I'm a transfer basically.
Yeah.
And so he probably. I mean, I can probably see him like, man, this is not what I mean, obviously, he probably like, man, I want to keep competing, but like, it's not what I signed up for. Like, I
Yeah,
had,
no, exactly. Like I want kids that want to win games. You know what I'm saying? Like I
yeah,
want kids that yeah. I mean, of course, in the back of their mind, probably want to go to the next level. He knew what he was dealing with, at
right,
Alabama. But like, it shouldn't be about money right now. Like
hmm
you ain't accomplished nothing yet. You talking about
exactly,
how much money you're gonna be making next year, son? You ain't even get like 30 snaps this past game.
yeah, like,
You talking about how much money you making? Like, no. So yeah. That I see. I'm glad we, at Notre Dame, we're not getting no kids like that.
yeah,
Our kids got their priorities on straight. But yeah, I can imagine that's what pushed Nick over the edge. He was just like, man, I'm out of here. I'm
yeah.
cool. I'm cool on these mindsets. These mindsets crazy.
It's crazy,
It's
right, man? And it's definitely a new age of college football we in.
it sure is.
Our best coach of probably all time. He was like, man, I can't do it no more. These kids is too much for me. So,
Right.
I mean, obviously the NIL is good and all, for
Yeah.
everybody, get their compensation, get what you deserve,
Right.
but to some point, it's got to be, it's got to be about playing the game you love.
I feel like
And
as long as their priorities are in order, then it's a good thing. But if all
yeah,
you're thinking about is just money and how I can get as much money out of the situation as possible, then like, yeah, no, dude. Because then these kids, what they're gonna do is look back at their college career and be like, damn, like I don't even remember playing for real. Like I feel like
I
all I
do.
was thinking about was how much money I can make. Like,
That's it. Like
and then their eligibility is gonna be up, and they're gonna have nothing really to look back on. So,
and then they're
I
probably not
hope
going to the league because
right.
if you worry about money already, you probably not making it to the league
Yeah,
because to
exactly.
really make it,
Exactly.
you gotta love the game of football to some extent,
Right.
to love playing it, love doing it, love doing things inside the game of football. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's hard to it was hard to hear that comment from Saban because it's like, dang, like you kind of knew that's why he retired, but it's like to hear him
Mhm.
say it, you like,
And
man,
like
like
just
that's how.
confirm it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, dang, that's how we fallen off that far, and we only been NIL for like 3 years at this point, 4 years. So it's like, man, we early in this NIL stuff, and we already lost to one of the best coaches ever. So man, it's like you gotta get it straight at some
Mm,
point,
mm. Hey,
gotta
but,
get it
but,
straight.
but hey, Notre Dame can never salute the boys.
Oh
Salute the
yeah,
boys.
you already know.
Yo, the boy,
We gonna get it right up there. We
yeah,
gonna
we,
get it
we
right.
we doing better than that. We doing much
Yeah, for
better.
sure.
But,
But yeah, we out of here, man. We appreciate everybody tuning in to Lucky Underdog podcast for another
absolutely.
week. However you catching your podcast, if that's Apple Music, if that's Spotify, Valley, Believe Network, we appreciate y'all tuning in. It's your boy CJ.
And this is Corey tuning out. We'll holla at y'all next week.
We out of here.